September 16, 1992. A single day that saw one of the most powerful nations on earth brought to its knees. Not by an army, not by a natural disaster, but by one man and his phone. In just 24 hours, the British government burned through billions trying to save their currency. They failed, the pound crashed, and the entire future of Europe changed forever. This is the story of Black Wednesday, the day a hedge fund manager broke the Bank of England and walked away with $1 billion. Before we dive in, hit that like button and subscribe, because this story isn't just ancient history. It's a playbook. According to research from The Conversation in 2022, the tactics used on Black Wednesday changed how governments think about defending their currencies. Markets became more powerful than politicians overnight. Central banks around the world learned they couldn't just promise to defend their money. They had to prove it, as documented by CEPR policy experts. And here's the kicker. The whole mess actually pushed Europe toward creating the euro because everyone was so scared of another currency meltdown. So yeah, this matters. Even today, when you hear about currency wars or central bank interventions, you're seeing the echoes of what happened that Wednesday in 1992. Now here's what makes this story wild. The British government thought they had everything under control. Prime Minister John Major's team had spent months reassuring everyone the pound was solid, according to Economics Help's 2024 analysis. They joined this thing called the exchange rate mechanism, basically a promise by European countries to keep their currencies stable against each other, as NPR reported in their investigation. Think of it like pegging your money to everyone else's. According to IG's detailed breakdown from 2023, you couldn't let your currency drop more than 6% against the German mark. But there was a problem nobody wanted to talk about publicly. The British economy was tanking. Wikipedia's documentation shows inflation was triple Germany's rate. Interest rates were crushing homeowners. The housing market was collapsing. And yet the government kept insisting, over and over, that the pound would stay strong. They had to. Their entire economic credibility depended on it. But across the Atlantic, a billionaire investor named George Soros was reading the same economic data, and he came to a very different conclusion. Let me paint you the scene in early 1992. According to IG's timeline, the UK had only joined the exchange rate mechanism 2 years earlier, back in October 1990. Margaret Thatcher's government locked the pound in at £1 equals 2.95 German marks. Give or take 6%, as The Conversation documented. Sounds reasonable, right? Wrong. The British economy was already in recession when they joined. High inflation, high interest rates, massive government deficits. And here's where it gets interesting. Germany had just reunified, and they'd offered East Germans a generous conversion rate for their worthless East German marks. This pumped up inflation in Germany. So what did Germany's central bank do? They jacked up their interest rates to fight that inflation. Now Britain's in a bind. To keep the pound stable against the mark, they need high interest rates too. But high interest rates are strangling their already weak economy. It's like trying to run a marathon while holding your breath. Something's gotta give. Enter George Soros. According to NPR's investigation from 2024, this guy ran a hedge fund called the Quantum Fund out of a pretty basic office in Midtown Manhattan. Nothing fancy, just computers and stacks of paper everywhere. By spring of 1992, as the Economics Review reported in 2021, Soros and his team are looking at Britain's situation and thinking, there's no way they can keep this up. The math doesn't work. IG's research shows Soros actually believed in the pound at first. He'd even backed it with $1.2 billion just a month before everything exploded. But then something changed his mind. September 15th, 1992, an interview hits the newswires. Helmut Schlesinger, president of Germany's Bundesbank, gives an interview to the Wall Street Journal, as documented in Wikipedia's historical records. He says something that seems pretty innocent at first. He mentions that after Italy just devalued its currency, there might need to be a more comprehensive realignment of European currencies. He thinks he's speaking off the record. He's not. By morning, according to Preeconomics research from 2022, German newspapers are running headlines suggesting the pound might be one of those currencies that could come under pressure. The moment Soros sees this, he knows. This is it, the crack in the dam. On the morning of Wednesday, September 16th, as the Economics Review documented, Soros and his fund make their move. They increased their position against the pound from $1.5 billion to $10 billion. $10 billion. Wikipedia's records show they're borrowing pounds from anyone who'll lend them, and immediately selling those pounds to buy other currencies. Other hedge funds catch wind of what's happening. They pile on. Pretty soon, tens of billions of pounds are being dumped on the market. When London opens, the pound is in freefall. The Bank of England goes into panic mode. According to Economics Help, they start buying pounds like crazy, trying to prop up the price. 2 billion pounds per hour. Think about that. Every single hour, they're throwing 2 billion at the problem. But it's not working. Soros and the other traders are selling faster than the government can buy. It's like trying to bail out the Titanic with a bucket. Here's where it gets absolutely brutal for the British government. They're running out of options, fast. According to Earn2Trade's 2020 analysis, first move, they raise interest rates to 10%. The idea is that higher rates will make people want to hold pounds. Doesn't work. Fine, they say. Economics Help documents that they announced they're raising rates at GAIN to 12%. People are watching this on TV in real time. Homeowners are looking at their mortgage, thinking we're screwed. And the pound keeps falling. By afternoon, Chancellor Norman Lamont, that's basically Britain's Treasury Secretary, is in a room with his advisors. As documented in the Black Wednesday 1992 analysis from 2023, they've burned through an estimated 27 billion pounds of foreign currency reserves. 27 billion. Gone. And for what? The pound is still dropping. One official later said they'd been hoping Germany would help by selling marks and buying pounds. But Germany had its own problems. They weren't coming to the rescue. The British government was completely outgunned. On one side, you've got a central bank with limited reserves. On the other side, you've got Soros and a pack of hedge funds with essentially unlimited access to borrowed money. It's not even a fair fight. Comment below if you've ever felt completely outmatched by something way bigger than you. That's what the Bank of England was feeling that afternoon. By evening, Prime Minister John Major and Norman Lamont have to face reality. They gather for a meeting. This is it, the moment. They're about to admit defeat to the entire world. At 7:40 p.m., as the Black Wednesday 1992 documentation shows, Norman Lamont stands in front of cameras and announces, Britain is suspending its membership in the exchange rate mechanism. Translation: we give up. The pound is now free to fall as far as the market wants to take it. Over the next few days, the pound drops 15% against the mark and 25% against the dollar. And George Soros? Wikipedia records show he makes over $1 billion in profit. The government's actual losses? IG's analysis reveals they were later found to be about 3.3 billion pounds. As George Soros a villain who broke a nation's economy for profit? Or was he just the messenger exposing a policy that was never going to work? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to see more stories about the hidden forces that shape our economies, make sure you're subscribed. Because trust me, Black Wednesday wasn't the last time markets and governments went to war. It was just the most dramatic. See you in the next one.